We have now completed the basic Git workflow and the basic commands on that. Now we are going to explore some more commands on the Git. Before that, we must have some kind of a knowledge on the web-based version control systems. So there are actually many popular web-based systems for this function. We have GitHub. GitHub is one, and then we have GitLab, and then we have Bitbucket. So Bitbucket, GitLab and GitHub are the most popular web-based version control systems out there. So I'm going to choose this Bitbucket for this session. So I'll be going inside that, and I can log in with my credentials. Okay, so I have already logged in, so I'm inside the dashboard. Here in the left hand side, you can see a Bitbucket side menu. In that case, you can go to repositories. This is where you can see all the repositories you have. So you can just create one if you need. So there's a little plus sign on the left hand side where you can create the repositories, teams, projects and such. So I will be creating a repository here in this session. So let's go to the repository, and they are asking the repository name. You can type anything here. So I will give git sample project, and you can set the access level, and there are some advanced settings as well. If you need, you can just give a description as well as some settings. So I will be just keeping these things default, and I'm going to hit on create repository. Okay, now our new repository has been created. Now after creating the online repository, we have to sync our local repository as well. So that's where the git clone command comes in handy. So we have two ways of cloning these things, the HTTPS way and the SSH way. SSH is more secure because it will create the public and private key combination when we access in the repository. So right now I'm going to go with HTTPS, the basic way. So git clone and the URL for the repository. So I'm going to copy this link by using this copy button, and I'm going to go to my command line. I will go to my workspace. Okay, I'm in my workspace. Now we can paste that command that we have already copied. So it says git clone and the URL. When we hit enter, it will call our project in the Bitbucket and asking the password for that. If your email is not yet registered with your system, it will ask the username as well. So here I just have to give the password. Okay, so once you entered the password, you can see the message. This cloned project is an empty project, so we can see whether it's cloned or not. We'll do a LL, the list items. Oh great, we have git sample project, same as the git sample project in your online repository. So if I go inside that, now you can see git is already been in it because I'm now in the master branch. So we can do anything and do the stuff. Right, so that is about the git clone basic command, and the next we have is git pull. So that is a wonderful code that we can use to take the changes from the online repository. So we have the online repository called git sample project in the Bitbucket. What we can do is we can use git pull command to take the changes from this repository to our local machine. So we'll do some changes in the online repository for that. So here I can create a readme file for an example. So I'll go and create here, and I can write anything. Okay, so we'll just keep it this way. You can type anything right here, readme file, and I'm going to commit that one, and I'm going to commit with this message. Okay, now the first commit is being made with the readme file, and now you know what happened is your online repository is ahead with your local repository. So that's where the git pull command is coming. So we can pull the changes very easily from your origin. So we have git pull and then we type git pull origin. We can use this git command like this. We can type git pull origin to mention that we are taking the changes from the remote branch, and we have to give the branch that we are going to pull in the details. So here I am pulling the details from the master branch, because why? We are in the master branch here in the online repository. So I'm going to type master. So it will ask my password again. So I can type the password, hit enter. Right, the changes has been pulled to your local machine, and you can see one item has been changed, right? So if you check the local repository now by using a list, you can see the readme file is there. So that is git pull. After git pull, what we have is the push command. Git push is also very important when you are going to, when you have done with the coding and done with the testing and all, and your changes are committed in your local environment, and now you need to sync this with your online repository. So then the git push command is coming. So in this git push command, we can push the changes to your online repository from your local branch. So let's do something. So I'm going to open this project with my code editor. Great. And I have readme file. So I can change the readme file, right? So I will say this is a project. This is an awesome project. This is an awesome project. Okay, so I have done a change to the readme file. So if we go back to the terminal and hit git status, now you already know these commands. We have modified the readme file, and this is in the untracked folder. To add these things to the staging area, we use git add, and we can type the file name, or you can just type dot to have it all. Now we can commit the changes, or you can see the git status, it's in the green right now. We can use git commit command to save the changes in the locally with a message. So I'll give the message as updated the readme file. Okay, now your commit has been done. So if I look at on the git log file, you can see we have created the readme. This is from the online that we have done. We pulled the change, and now we have updated the readme file, and that is still in my local machine. Because why? If I go to the online machine right now, if I go to the commits, so here in the online repository we have source to identify what is the code inside, and we have commits to check or track the details that the developers has done and the branches that we do. We are going to discuss that one later. Anyway, if you go to commits, only one commit is there. My latest commit is not there. To make it apply to this one, even you can see it from the source code as well. In the source, in the readme file, it's still the same. We don't have our update. So we can go to the command line right now, and we can do a push. Git push origin is to mention that we are pushing the changes to the online repository or the remote repository, and we have to mention the branch. So that is a good practice. We are in the master branch and we are pushing the changes to the master branch. Okay, asking the password again, type the password, hit enter, and your changes Okay, now they are uploaded to your online repository. So let's go and refresh the repo and check the changes. Great, we have, this is an awesome project. Let's see the commits. Okay, we have 2 commits now. It's wonderful. Now we have learned about git clone, and we have learned about git pull and push. Git clone, git pull, git push are also very important commands that we have in Git to work with your remote repository and the local.